All right, welcome to Film It Now. I'm your host, John Green, joined as always by Brian D'Almeida. And today we have a very special guest on our show. Dylan, please introduce yourself.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you again, John, for inviting me on, and Brian as well. My name is Dylan. I run an account called WoofWoofWolffe, Star Wars, YouTube, gaming, all of that news. Also on Instagram as well. I'm excited to talk about the latest episode of The Mandalorian with you guys.
Dude, I'm excited to have you here. I love that your content is that niche. It's Star Wars gaming. It's not just a gaming channel. It's only Star Wars games and Star Wars related content.
They have a lot of titles that come out, especially EA.
What's your favorite?
Favorite game? My favorite game isn't Battlefront 2, but that's what I play the most. Probably the original Battlefront 2, 2005 by Pandemic.
Yes,
the one that was on
the
PSP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the original Battlefront 2 was. Yes. I played that one. Yeah,
I used to play it on my PSP all the time.
Me too. I loved playing it on the PSP, sitting in the car or whatever.
Yeah, I wish they would have brought something to PS Vita when it was still a portable console.
I wish that they would bring that stuff to the Switch now.
I think they're doing that for Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, if they are, I'm at game over. Because
it's got to be low res though. It's
yeah.
gonna be like 540p or something.
I don't care, man. That's why I have a PC.
That's
I game on PC and then I game on the Switch. Like, I don't know. I don't care about graphics. I just want good freaking games. Anyway, we're not here to talk about video games. We are here to talk about The Mandalorian, episode 3 from season 2, chapter 11. It's going to get really confusing when we get into seasons 3 and 4, and it's like season 4, episode 2, chapter 37. Like, I'm just going to refer to these as the chapter. This is chapter 11.
Yeah, I'm going to lose the numbers for sure as well. I'm already getting confused.
Let's start with just overall, like, how did you feel about the episode, Dylan? Tell us how you felt about this episode.
Wow, mind blown. I've watched so much Clone Wars, so much Rebels. Huge fan of the Mandalorians as like a cult, as a group of people, and to see basically them answer a lot of questions about taking off the helmet versus where they're from, and then also addressing Giancarlo's character having the Darksaber at the end of season 1. Yeah. I was like, wow, they're really going into it now. And just to see Bo-Katan on screen, I'm not going to talk that much about it, but yeah, I was excited to see that.
Dope. Brian, what were your thoughts?
I loved the action-packed nature of this episode. I thought it was very much like, we keep talking about how The Mandalorian feels like a video game in the sense that you go off and you do these like different side quests and they all like loop back to the main story. And I feel like it was the same thing here where he drops onto this, it's like a black market port. Yeah. And he has to try and find the rest of his cult in the Mandalorians. What I found the most interesting, I think, was how the Mandalorians he met with don't follow the same rules as he does. It's a different like sect, or he's split into a different religious, more radical version of the Mandalorians. I thought that was really interesting.
I'm glad you brought that up because I kind of want to touch on this. So Dylan and I were talking before you got on. We're super hardcore fans, watch all of the cartoons, all the movies. So you don't, correct? You've never seen any of that stuff. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff in this episode that they really dropped for hardcore fans. Where Dylan and I were like, "Oh shit! I can't believe this! I can't believe this!" So
like who was the woman in the cloak, like the robe in the dark port? Like they show this woman.
That was
we don't know her.
Was that not the same girl, the Mandalorian?
No, because she's not Sabine. Not Sabine.
But the other Mandalorian with Bo-Katan, the other girl.
Yes.
In Bo-Katan's part of this group called the Night Owls, and they frequently walk around with hoods, cloaks, when they're sneaking around so people don't see their Mandalorian armor. So I assumed it was the same girl that shows up on the ship with Bo-Katan.
Yes, that is the same girl.
It is the same girl.
That is the same girl, but she's not from the Clone Wars.
But she's not from the... Yeah, she's a brand new character that we've never seen before.
Yeah, but she is a Night Owl.
But Bo-Katan mentions the Watch, which, Brian, for you who have never seen this, in the Clone Wars, there was a sect of radical Mandalorians called the Death Watch, and they were exiled basically to another moon, and everyone thought they died out, and then they came in during the Clone Wars and tried to take over Mandalore, and it created this whole power struggle, and then Darth Maul actually became their leader eventually, I think at the end of near the end of the Clone Wars.
Is this group trying to take over Mandalore? Is that what's happening?
They're trying to take back Mandalore, from my understanding, because at some point, at the end of Rebels, Bo-Katan was given. So that actress, Katie Sackhoff, it's the same actress that does the voice.
Yeah, that's the thing. Show, they actually put her in the armor,
which is awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's so cool, and she looks perfect. She looks exactly like
great.
her cartoon self. So at the end of Rebels, she was given the Darksaber, and the Darksaber is a symbol for the leader of the Mandalorians. Whoever has that is the Mandalore.
Is it a lightsaber?
Is in charge.
It is
yes,
the dark
it is a lightsaber.
Lightsaber that you saw at the end.
It's a lightsaber. It's
so
an ancient
from,
lightsaber.
The Knights of the Old Republic, like those old.
Yeah, it was
games.
created. It was created by the very first Mandalorian Jedi. It was like an anomaly of his kind, and he created the Darksaber, and then went back and ruled Mandalore, and it just became. It got passed down from generation to generation.
So it's not evil per se. It's just like a symbol.
No,
of
it's
the leader.
not. But what's interesting is we have no idea how Moff Gideon got it. We just because last we see it, it's with Bo-Katan, and this is what excites me is I don't know if this is now becoming a larger part
Universe?
of. Well, they're expanding on old stuff, but I'm wondering if they're going to create like several spin-off episodes of the Mandalorian or shows of the Mandalorian telling all these stories, which I would love.
No, I'm so glad you let down all the lore of all how it came to be, and just to expand a little bit about that, the Darksaber was created by the first Jedi Mandalorian, but at some point the Jedi Temple got possession of it, especially during the Jedi Mandalorian Wars, and the Mandalorians broke into the Jedi Temple and stole it back.
Yep.
So that's how they got it, and then it passed down during House Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla had it. And Bo-Katan was actually his lieutenant, right-hand person.
Yeah, she used to be a part of the Death Watch.
Exactly.
And she broke away when Darth Maul took over.
Exactly, yeah. Because she said no outsider outside of Mandalore, talking about Darth Maul, should ever rule Mandalore. And she and a sect of the Death Watch broke off, and there was a huge civil war, which was in the Clone Wars. And then at the end, the Empire became, took over Mandalore because the clones were now serving the Empire. And then, there's a lot, but basically,
there's
John's
a lot of history that came up in this episode that I was just.
So there's I feel like because last episode I felt like it was more of a filler episode to get to this moment, so I feel like they had to pick it up this episode, and they really did, and I feel like they really did a nice thing of adding in those actors from previous series, from previous parts of the Star Wars universe. It's really nice. It's good for for the fans. Yeah.
And I think it's going to be great because I think people who aren't too familiar with this stuff now, like when they start finding this stuff out, they're going to want to go back and watch the Clone Wars and watch Rebels and pick up all this history. What was your absolute favorite moment in this episode or favorite scene?
Hands down, it's got to be when they started assaulting the what is it called? I forgot what the name of the frigate's called, but it's also from Rebels. The Gozanti, cruiser. When they started assaulting that, that's so Brian, if you're unfamiliar, that cruiser usually carries TIE fighters on the bottom of it. So and then it'll deploy them because TIE fighters can't go through hyperspace. But anyways, so when they took out the stormtroopers on the outside, and one of the Night Owl picked up one of the stormtroopers and jetpacks off and drops him on the front windshield, I was like, this is exciting. I already knew it was going to be a great episode from there, but that was so cool to see in live action.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was when they're on the ship and it's going down, and they lock them in they contain them within the cargo hole or the cargo hole control room. And you just have this funny moment where the leader's like, wait, where did you trap them? And then they just go flying out of the ship like that. I love moments like that where it's just there's a lot of action, but then there's a hilarious thing that happens that makes it comedic.
Yeah. I think for me, my favorite moment was when that Quarren dude knocked Baby Yoda in to get eaten. And without hesitation, Mando dives right in.
He was
the great father that he is.
Just jumped in.
He just jumped in, didn't even think about it. Gets himself locked in there. It's like...
Did you think he was going to be able to get out if it weren't for the Mandalorians that showed up?
I figured he would have. Yeah. I mean... He's the main
he
character.
has 12 spears getting thrusted into him. He has no ability to fight them off.
Yeah, but I was excited to see. You know, when the Mandalorians first popped down, I kept trying to figure out, oh, is that going to be Sabine? Is that Sabine? You couldn't really tell because it's going so fast. Because there's rumors she's going to be in the show.
They thought it was that girl.
They did think it was her.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it's not Sasha Banks. She looks like Sasha Banks. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was
looked it
her.
up earlier.
Oh, okay.
I'll cross-reference right now.
Yeah. But now I think there's a high possibility that she will be. So at the end of the episode, Brian, they mention the Jedi Ahsoka Tano, who is not actually a Jedi anymore. Technically, she left the Jedi Order. But she was Anakin Skywalker's apprentice. And at the end of Star Wars Rebels, she and Sabine, who is another Mandalorian, went on a quest to find a missing Jedi and Imperial officer. Which, dude, if they introduce a side quest with them and they're still trying to find Ezra, I would love it. Because I also really, really want to see a live action Thrawn, and if this is the way that they could introduce it, dude, I would lose it.
Thrawn, Ezra, and Ahsoka. I think that's just spoiling us at that point.
I feel like we have a chance here. We have an opportunity to create a live action Rebels series now, because all the other with the exception of Kanan, they're all still alive. Heiress still with the Republic. Like, come on.
That's true.
This could be pretty dope. Or I don't know. I was watching a video earlier too, where there's theories where they think that he's gonna meet up with Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka's gonna be like, "Well, I'm not a real Jedi, but I know one, or know of one." I don't think she and Luke have ever actually met, but what if they send him on a quest to find Luke Skywalker?
I mean, I feel like they're leading. It could be a possibility because they're leading up to the Mandalorian having to, give the child off to someone. I feel like, and I think they're gonna have to Baby Yoda or is gonna have to be trained in the ways of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
he'll stop eating other people.
Yes, yeah, so
other life
other
forms.
babies. And so I think at some point we're gonna meet like someone, a Jedi Master, a Jedi Knight that's going to be the one to take care of Baby Yoda as the Mandalorian hands Baby Yoda off to them.
I feel like it's too easy to say that Ahsoka would take him, and then because the Mandalorian now I feel like is associated not with just the Mandalorian but also with Baby Yoda. And what is the show going to become if he just gives up Baby Yoda, and then is it just going to be him being a bounty hunter? I don't know. I feel like this is going to be 4 seasons of his quest being diverted.
I agree. I think they're inseparable. And I don't know how. I think Ahsoka's going to reject him or something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you expect Ahsoka to be played by Rosario Dawson as they predict?
I mean, I hope so.
She looks the part.
She does. She really does look the part. And, this kind of made me think that there was kind of a whole deal with the Ashley Eckstein, the girl that played the voice of Ahsoka. And people were like, oh, she should be in live action. But there was a lot of people who were like, well, she's not a great live action actress. But now we've got Katie Sackhoff playing a live action version of her character.
Oh, yeah.
So if Rosario Dawson does actually show up to play Ahsoka, I feel like that's going to have some fans are going to love it and some fans are going to be up in arms.
I wonder how they're going to do the voice though with a different body actor and I know they did that previously with Darth Maul in Solo.
Yeah. I assume that they would just let Rosario Dawson do the voice if she's playing the character.
I think they have to because it's impractical otherwise.
Yeah. But which would be weird hearing a different voice. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
It happens all the time in gaming and movies and TV shows. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that.
Yeah. It's funny. Speaking of replacing voices, the guy that played Darth Vader in the original trilogy infamously got pissed at Lucasfilm because they dubbed over his performance with James Earl Jones.
They dubbed over his what?
They dubbed over his voice with James Earl Jones.
Same with, I don't know if you've seen, but Chewbacca's reading his lines out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, without the roar. Oh, man. All right, so what do you expect is going to happen in the next episode? Do you think he's going to meet Ahsoka in the next episode? Or is there going to be like another thing that diverts him from this quest? either.
No,
whichever one.
I think Brian brings up a good point. It's like a video game with the side quests. We've seen in other Mandalorian episodes, season 1, season 2. He just keeps running into other challenges on his way towards his objective. We got a plot episode last episode. I doubt we're gonna get one next episode.
Yeah, I think, like you said, so we're at the midpoint now. It's gonna be 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're almost to the midpoint.
So yeah, I think there still needs to be some sort of like Act 2 intermediate kind of thing that happens.
Yeah, I mean the midpoint of your story is typically, your biggest downturn before you turn up in the story. So I have a feeling this next episode's not going to be great for Mando, considering he's flying a half-broken ship still. Like I almost
feel bad for his ship.
Dude, can we talk about the way it crashed though? That was pretty funny.
In the beginning.
Yeah, when he's like going to land and then that engine like snaps and it just falls.
I like
right
how
into
the
water.
Mon Cala guy was just like shaking his head. Just
I
like,
loved it so because he was like, "Oh, it's so close, and it's going into the ocean. Cool, nice." And he just shakes his head. He's like, "Great."
Man, it was
I
so
thought it was
great.
Mon Cala for a while because there were Mon Calamari and there were the Quarren.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. So.
No. I guess they all are. These the only 2 species that live on all the water worlds? I feel like there's got to be more.
Yeah.
And now we have the new frog lady.
It wasn't in the visual effects budget.
The frog lady and her husband, which they don't give these people names, which is kind of funny.
I think that's on purpose. They just don't want you to have anything to identify them with.
No, we're just gonna call them Frog Lady and Kermit.
Maybe so that they don't have to deal with plot holes later on.
Who knows?
Yeah, potentially. I wonder what the VFX budget was. The Gazanti cruiser taking off. I was like, this is insane. Like the VFX.
That's something we've been talking about in the first 2 episodes. Is the VFX have gone way up in this season compared to season 1.
It's heavily backed now. I mean, the whole episode was them fighting spiders last time. I mean,
yeah, the spiders, the whole the crate dragon in the first episode.
The crate dragon, yeah.
Like, I felt like I was watching a blockbuster film, not a TV show, which is it's crazy. They're sinking a lot of money into this.
It feels like there's more travel in season 2 than there was in season 1. I think with season 1, they were still in the growth period in the sense that the studio still needed to be, they still needed to prove to the studio that they could make this into a series that's profitable and that can be marketed and good for exciting for the Star Wars audience. Yeah,
I would almost bet that 90% of the subscribers they got in the first year were because of the show.
Oh yeah. I mean, it might as well be Mandalorian Plus.
Yeah, because honestly,
literally, I think that's probably I wonder what the metrics are for viewership, but I think that's the one that's probably top rated.
I think there's data on it that people subscribe when the Mandalorian is just about to come out, and then they're gonna take rid of their subscriptions right after it ends. That happens like all the time.
Yeah, it makes sense because it's just like the Disney catalog, and there isn't too much to it, and like. Whatever cost what's the subscription cost again, John?
I actually don't know currently because I prepaid for 3 years, so I have no idea.
You can do that? I pay $69.99 a year. So
$69.99
that breaks down.
That's Jesus, John. So you paid $210 up front?
No, it was $120.
That's why you did the 3 years.
Yeah, it was super cheap. It came out to like $3 a month or something like that.
That makes more.
Or no,
more
that's
sense.
like 120. Yeah. Divided by 36. I have no idea. My math is terrible right now. It's like $3.50, $4 a month or something.
It's not bad if it's true. That's not bad.
No, that's why I did it. They did. Right before it launched, they had these special deals, and I was like, well, I know that there's going to be at least 2-3 seasons of The Mandalorian. I might as well just pay for this up front now. But $70 a year is not bad. I mean, that's cheaper than any other streaming service.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
you can do that deal with Hulu and ESPN or whatever, and you can get it for like $5.99 a month.
True.
So
it's only $5.99 a month
for the three. Yeah, for Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus. I think
that's crazy.
I might be wrong about.
I thought it was like $15 a month for that.
I'll double check right now.
But either way,
I mean, if it's true, fans of sports, Star Wars, and sitcoms have it in for Disney Plus.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, it's $12.99 a month.
$12.99, but that's not bad for all 3 of those. When do you think we're gonna see Moff Gideon again? Because like he's the looming big bad figure of this show, and now he's not only chasing Mando, he's also chasing Bo-Katan, which has me thinking that he refused to team up with her at the end of this episode, but I think by episode 7, episode 8, that's an inevitable partnership.
I feel like most of what we saw in the trailer has already been shown. We've seen the water planet.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him crouching next to Yoda on that ice planet. The crash, Razor Crest stand down. We've seen all that already.
The only shot I know of off the top of my head that we haven't seen is there's a shot with a couple of scout troopers on speeder bikes, and they go and they drop down a mountain, the side of a mountain. That's the only shot I can think of that we haven't seen.
You're right.
But other than that, yeah, they showed us everything from the first 3 episodes, which I love. I love that their marketing's like, hey, here's the first 3 episodes, and then we have no idea what's going to happen in the rest of it.
Yeah, it's
100%.
good when it's a little annoying when shows like spoil everything in the trailer. I like it when they leave it up to the imagination of the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. It's interesting because like I do editing, and I just did a trailer for a web series that I've been working on. I put shots from all the episodes in there. It helps. I mean, for that one, they're a lot shorter. They're like, it's a 6-minute episode web series, you know. So there's a lot more to put in.
But it's like, it's strange, right? The way that they market it, especially like looking at the thumbnail for this episode, I was like, okay, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the thumbnail was the that one Mando girl, which I don't even know her character's name.
I don't either. I have no idea. I thought it was gonna be Sabine. I'm surprised.
I know. I was really hoping it was gonna be Sabine, but since they went ahead and name dropped Ahsoka, which I actually liked that they did that, because there have been rumors that Ahsoka was gonna be in it, and rather than be like, go to this planet and meet some person who will take you to a Jedi, she's just like, no, go find Ahsoka Tano. I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm locked in, and I already was, but now that you said Ahsoka's name, I want to see it.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna miss an episode. I mean, I would not miss an episode because it's Star Wars, but
if they released it all at once, like the whole season at once, I'd binge it an entire like weekend or night.
Yeah, I would too, and I'm kind of glad that they haven't because it gives me something to look forward to every week.
I mean, they do that for a lot of reasons. One, you know, the people who are going to watch it right away are going to spoil it all over the internet right away. Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing how quickly videos are popping up, and people have, it's like they're screen capturing when they're watching it, and they're putting in full clips.
Some
from the
people
show.
live stream as they watch it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've thought about doing that. It would be fun. We should do that. We should do that for the finale.
Down. I mean, I'm down.
That would be fun.
I want to see them address the fleet that they mentioned, and I want Moff Gideon to be at the head of that fleet. Mm-hmm. Like, I want the Razor Crest to just get tractor beamed or something, and there's like a huge Imperial fleet.
Yeah.
Because I want to know how big this remnant is left. I mean, this is after Return of the Jedi. Like, it
6,
seems
7
like they're
years?
pretty powerful. Yeah. I mean, they have.
Yeah, but
a
you
lot
think
of...
about it, the Battle of Endor, all they did was blow up the Death Star, which is a big deal, and you kill the Emperor. For 30 years, but if there's still all these other battalions that are controlling planets, you've got Moffs everywhere. I mean, it makes sense that the Empire would kind of crumble because all of these leaders of the Empire are going to try to become the next Emperor, and then you've got to fight against the New Republic while you're at it. But I feel like the Empire is still pretty big.
Yeah,
it seems like you see stormtroopers everywhere.
They have divisions in every planet in some way or another, like a unit.
I just doubt that they're as unified as they were because they have no direct leader anymore.
Do you think that now that Mando has met with Mandalorians that take off their helmet, do you think that he'll remain rigid in the ways of the Mandalorian, or do you think
I think by the end of the season he will break on that. I think because he was very clear in this season that they were not real Mandalorians because they took off their helmets, and they feel the same thing about him because he was raised by the Death Watch. So, but I feel like if he teams up with Bo-Katan and they're able to take down Moff Gideon together, he might ease on that. I don't know, Dylan, what do you think?
No, I agree 100%. I think you can already feel him slipping, and you know, they ran the "this is the way" when they departed from each other.
Yeah.
And he's starting to earn, like, they earned his trust, right? Like, by fighting alongside him and proving, you know, when she's like, this has been in my family for generations. I am a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And he's like, how can you do this? How can you behave this way?
Yeah. I think also, too, she kind of shot down some of his misconceptions about Mandalore because she mentioned the planet Mandalore, and he's like, oh, you can't go there. Everyone who goes there dies. And she's like, yeah, that's not true. So... you know, he already has, I think, he's now gonna be questioning his upbringing, which I think is great. This is great character development for him. Because he's already.
I don't know if you've seen. Because I just watched this yesterday, Borat 2.
Yes.
But this reminds me of when they're like unlearning, all the things they've been taught.
Yeah.
In a different way.
When she's unlearning the book that she has.
Yeah.
Oh man, that book is so great. And we talked about Borat on one of our recent episodes, didn't we, Brian?
I still have not watched it. We talked it with Aaron.
That's right. When we had Aaron on the show, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that was great. Cool. All right. Anything else before we wrap up, guys?
I would say I'm just, like we said, I'm just curious to see how the Mandalorian grows as a character, and I want to see him let go of his rigidness or his his very narrow way of seeing the world, and opening up as a human being, as a person.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it's got really good metaphors to extremely religious extremists and people who've grown up in super extremist societies who've had to kind of wrestle with their own belief systems and kind of seeing the world in a new way by being out and meeting other people.
Do you expect to run into those Mandalorians again, Bo-Katan and her gang?
I think so. I think it's inevitable. I think if Moff Gideon's trying to get both of them, at some point they're going to cross paths again and they're going to have to team up to take him down. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
And thank you for having me on today. This was
Dylan,
a
thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. Or thank you for being with us.
This is now your show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No, thank you so much, Dylan. Thanks to all of our listeners. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You can follow us on anchor.fm, at filmitnow, or at filmit.now on Instagram. Dylan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter at WoofWoofWolffe, spelled with 2 F's and an E. And yeah, follow Film It Now. They're great people.
All right, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys all next week for Chapter 12, when the Mandalorian drops the baby into the Sarlacc pit.